What?
All right, all right, this time the Quick Speed Shop. I'm down in the Quick Museum of Speed. They got all where are the street rods gone? Well, they're all right here. They just sit covered up in a barn. I'll tell you why. Every single one of them's broke. So let's go through these old cars one by one. I'll tell you what's wrong with them, why I can't drive them right now or barely drive them, and what the plan is to fix them all. Because cars like this need to be driven. They shouldn't just sit here undercover in the dark. Why are they in the museum? Because most of them are broken. Let's start with a 37 Ford here. 2 years ago now, I took and I put a new motor and transmission and rear end in this car and got it running-ish. It's got a flat-headed 59 AB flathead in it. And then it stopped running right. It won't even start now. It runs on a couple cylinders. So I want to switch this car over to 12 volts and get it running. Eventually. There's some fender skirts in there. And this is a original, well, not original condition, but a amateurly restored 37 Ford. I bought it at Hershey, Pennsylvania about, oh, there's Ted, about 2013. And it's 99% rust-free. I put a bunch of doodads and trinkets on it. My buddy pinstriped it. Paul, the pinstriper, pinstriped it. It's got new tires and stuff. Still mechanical brakes, still 6 volts, but I want to put it on 12 because it's not charging. And you don't hardly get any cranking action with the 6-volt battery before it's out of juice. And it'll just run better. I can put electric ignition in it. I can run brighter lights. I can run, have it spin over 1,000 times better. I can have one battery that matches everything else I got. So we're going to work on that probably in the late fall. It's actually off the road right now, but it is sitting here waiting. And I don't want to give up on it. It's a car I've owned the longest, that I've driven the least. Owned it 12 years, driven it about, 15, 20 miles. And all it does is sit here and take up space and cost money. I don't like it. Let's go back here to the other cars here back in the Field of Dreams. So this yellow car, this is a 1937 Buick that my dad built in the 80s and 90s from an original car. This is his real nice street rod. It's full. It was completed in probably like 2001. It's got a tweed interior in it, school bus yellow, got a Camaro subframe. The big problem with this car is, for one thing, it's too nice for me, and I get the interior dirty when I sit in it, and it gets filthy every time I drive it. Not complaining, that's just how it is. I don't like clean the stuff. I like beater cars, but that's not the big problem. The big problem's right here under the hood. This has got a 406 cubic inch small block Chevy. It's a 74 station wagon motor, bored 30 over. It's got probably flat top pistons, so like, 9.5, 10 to 1. It's got roller rockers and a bunch of other stuff. It's got about 35,000 miles on it. Problem in this car, as you know, 400 Chevys, the center two exhaust or cylinders there's no coolant passages between the center two cylinders, so they tend to run warm. And this one's been worked over, and it's in a small radiator size car, and it runs hot. On the highway, it doesn't run bad, but when you get into town, it goes up to 190, 200 degrees, and then it gets like 220 when you stop at the gas station, and it won't start. So we're going to take that 400 Kirk and take it out of there. So when Ted and I go on power tour, we're going to go to Summit Racing. I'm going to pick up one of the brand new Blueprint 350s they have. Brand new black, aluminum heads. They run on like 90, they're 9.5 to 1 compression, I think, so they run on 90 octane. They are 50,000 mile warranty, I believe, but brand new engine, 390 horse, 410 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm going to plop a 350 right in here. Boom. Pull this 400 out, freshen it up a little bit. It'll probably go in my C10 truck next year, just because my dad had it built. But we got a turbo 350 transmission behind it. We're going to bolt all that back in, put the new 350 in it with the aluminum heads, which will help it run a little bit cooler. I'm going to get rid of the electric fan and put a big mechanical clutch fan on it with a fan shroud, which should also help it run cooler. And then the third thing, eventually I want to get to the back of this, has got a Chevy 10-bolt rear end in it out of a Firebird or a Camaro, and it is, I think, 373 gears, and it's got a pretty short tire, so it screams on the highway. You're turning the 400 right now at 70 miles an hour on the highway. It's turning about 3,200 RPM, which I think is way too much for a 400. And this is the only small block Chevy I got that spins that high and uses oil. I think it just, wore it out a little bit. So we're going to pull that out of there. I might put rings in it before I put it back in the other truck, maybe, but it's going to get a big radiator, so at least it'll run cool. But that'll come out, and the 350 will go in its place. Should run a lot cooler, should make this car a lot more drivable. I'll change the rear end gears probably to like 308s, take the rear end out, have it sent out, and have different gears put in it. I like to put 308s in it, or maybe whatever fits the carrier, ring gear, maybe 323s or something, but get it down. The thing will have 400 foot-pounds of torque with a new engine, so it doesn't need 373s. It'll easily move 308s in it. So that's what's happening to this. Right now, all the bolts on the intake are loose for some reason. I think because they're stainless maybe. It's leaking coolant on both sides of the intake, so I got to clean all that up. I haven't started it yet this year, but it was running real hot last time I had it running, so that's going to come out of there, and in a couple of weeks we'll have a brand new engine, boom, to drop in there. That'll probably happen after I get the C10 painted. We'll do, bring it up. I'm going to start doing some smaller projects instead of these year-long restoration projects, because they take forever, and I like to work on different stuff, not one thing for a year straight. All right, now we're over here on the 40 Mercury. Now I've worked on this a little bit on and off in the last year or so on the channel. I went and chromed out the grill. This is actually a bad Chad trick. This is stick-on plastic chrome. This was a homemade grill in this thing, and it was made out of bar stock, and it was painted yellow, monochromatic, and it had different headlights on it. So I went and painted the grill black, and then put the stick-on 1/4-inch chrome trim, which looks really similar to original 40 Mercury grill from, it really straightened out the look of the front of the car a lot. I put the stock Ford 40 Mercury style headlight rings on it. I got a chrome 41 Ford bumper. When I got this car, it was all yellow monochromatic, no bumper in the front, so I'm making it more like a resto mod. But we also got issues under the hood here. Ow. Even though it's nice, check this out, boom. Now here we got another leaky small block Chevy. This one is a 70s something 350 out of a Corvette. It's been rebuilt. It's only got like 6,000 or 7,000 miles on it. It's got this Offenhauser 3-deuce intake on it with Rochester 2 jets on it. But this was built in the 90s, in the mid-90s, and as you can see, it's leaking profusely out of the bolts on this one as well. The problem with this car is, well, there's two problems. The transmission is screwed up. It's got a 4-speed, a T10 4-speed, which I think came with the engine, and it's set up for like a 373 or a 411 rear end gear in a Corvette. And this car's got right now 273 gears in it. So first gear is really wide, and when you take off, it wants to do like 30 miles an hour in first gear. It makes it really hard to drive at low speed. And the clutch, the hydraulic slave cylinder, or what do you call it? Throwout bearing is screwed up on it, so the clutch is slipping. I want to get rid of the 4-speed, put an automatic in it, either a Power Glide or a Turbo 350. Get rid of the 4-speed, save that for something else. I'm also, even though it looks cool, going to get rid of the 3 deuces here. Ted says that's a bad idea.
Absolutely.
But these are all rebuilt, almost 25 years ago. They're all leaking. It looks super cool, but this car is more of like a highway cruiser, around town cruiser. Like, it's got wild paint and flames and stuff on it, but it is not really a hot rod anymore. It's more like a street cruiser, so I don't need the 3 deuces on it. So I'm going to pull that off. And I've got an old Edelbrock CB3 intake, which is like a pre-runner to the Performer, and it's got the oil fill tube in the front of it, so I can keep these old Edelbrock valve covers that don't have any breathers in them and run the front breather like that. So I'm going to pull that off, and I want to fix the transmission. I've been driving it like it is. I've only put a few miles on it because the transmission clutch setup is so slips so bad you can't really do anything with it. But if you go back, I got a build series on this. You can see where I actually, when I got this car, it was pro-streeted in the back. Right now it's got little 235 wide tires on it. When I got it, it was Pro Street with the huge Mickey Thompson Sportsman tires on the back, and it was narrowed frame rails and stuff. I cut the whole back end of the car out and built new frame rails in there. It used to have a big stereo in the back with no back seat, so I've got a back seat I put in it and fixed around that I got to get reupholstered red to match the car. But now it's got, we unpro streeted the Pro Street car, but it's got a really nice red interior, vinyl interior, like an early 50s Buick wheel in it. And it's a neat car. It just needs more mechanical work. So first thing I want to do probably is get rid of the 3-deuce intake. I'm going to get a new Edelbrock AVS2 carburetor put on there and we'll fix that, make that run better, and then I got to get it up in the air and get the transmission out of it. And it's going to might require some tunnel surgery.
Take a picture of that eyeball.
The eyeball. Over on the glove box, there's a flying eyeball painted on there, like Von Dutch flying eyeball. My buddy Tom that built this car had a guy paint that on there for him. And yeah, so that's the stage of the Mercury. It's functional. I can drive it around. I take it out once in a while. Right now, just to keep it running and stuff like that. But it needs the clutch is pretty much, you can't really use it how it is right now. You can kind of drive it, but it slips the clutch unless you really barely get in the gas. And like I said, the gear ratios are wrong in the transmission for the rear end setup, and I want it for highway cruising and to get good gas mile. Or well, I don't want to spin at 1,000 RPM, million RPM on the highway, so it's got highway gears in it now. So I got to set up a transmission, which I have. I think I have a power glide I want to put in it just to keep it old school. I'm going with a 58 to 62 build period with it. Kind of like, the only way these 40 Mercury should be built is like as a 40s custom, with original 16-inch front wheels and tail dragger and chop and stuff like that. Obviously, this one is beyond that now, so I'm going kind of like it's a custom that was updated to the late 50s, early 60s. It's got like Watson-style flames on it, and I put chrome reverse wheels on it and the 41 Mercury bumper. So it looks kind of like a custom that was updated to that, early 60s, like picture American Graffiti, like Where Were You in 62 type of look is what I'm going with it. Over here on the Studebaker truck, you saw last year we took this to Truck Nationals at Carlisle. This thing's a ripper and a runner. It's a daily driver for me, and haven't really done anything with it since we got back from Carlisle Truck Nationals. I've just been driving it like an everyday driver. I put several thousand miles a year on it. It's got an old worn out AMC 258 straight six, just like the one in this AMC Eagle back here in the storage jail. But eventually, and all the birds crapped on it, great. Eventually I want to bodywork and paint this the original like dark green like on the wheels, but we haven't got that far yet. It's in black primer, and I did pick up a trinket for it. I've been kind of looking for. I just stumbled upon. This is like an aftermarket bumper guard that you see on a lot of trucks and cars from the 40s, and it's going to go in the center. I got to grind it and make a bracket to fit it here if you can see it, but it's going to go in the center and kind of put like a grill guard there. Add a little bit of trinket to the front of the bumper here. I paid like $25 for it at a swap meet. So I'm going to cut that up and make it go on the truck. But other than that, she's ready to go. And just sitting here, it's a rainy day. It's 50 degrees out again. The cold and the rain. Ted's had it. Are you moving to Florida?
Never know.
Oh, no.
Big Daddy, Ocala.
Yeah, you can go down and hang out with Big Daddy at F. All right, so then the last car we got over here is the Model A Hot Rod Shop Truck. Also a daily driver, runner, ripper. This was just at Cleveland at the Piston Powered Show back in April. And I just been driving it here and there. It's been raining and cold, like I said, but she's ready to go. Pulled in here. I just got to, we just did a video on it. Changing the mirror. I've got to change the other mirror so they match, and I fixed the speedometer cable. And I'm going to change the rear end gears on this thing from 355s to 273s because the rear end is leaking and it spins a thing a million RPM on the highway. Other than that, it's fine. It's sitting here, and it's a ripper. So I guess in conclusion, I want to say that all the old cars are still here. They're just down in the museum, the quick museum of half-broken projects that never go anywhere. But I do want to get these all going. The 37 Ford has been a thorn in my side. It's going to cost a lot of money, or some money to fix it. And I've had no, no success or happiness building it along the way, because every time I build it, something else breaks and it doesn't get to function. But if it's dialed in, I'll probably enjoy it. The yellow car, I'll never get rid of that because my dad built it, but the overheating with the 400 small block has made it basically unusable for me. I drive it like once or twice a year just to keep it mobile, and it's because of the overheating issue. So we're fixing that with a brand new 350 and some other cooling mods. Get rid of it, pull that 400 out of there, put that in the C10 truck later on, maybe next year, with a great big radiator and a big fan in the C10. The 400 should be okay in there, but in this little yellow car with a little fan and a little radiator, it's just too much for the 400. 40 Mercury, slowly coming along. I can work on it and fix it up as I go. We'll fix the intake. Big deal's going to be fixing the transmission. Once that's fixed, the thing should be I got some other little work I got to do. I want to change the control arms. I want to put bigger brakes on the front of it. Other than that, it's running and driving. It's got good tires and stuff on it. So basically keep it up and work on it a little bit at a time. Once we get that C10 truck in the shop up there painted and assembled and get that going, in between starting the Daytona clone project, we're going to work on these other old cars and do some old car street rod action over the summer, do some little day videos and little trinket work and get things fixed and get some different content going. So I got to edit this video and get it out for you tomorrow, which is right now for you guys, because I've run out of time. I've been working too much at work. Worked 13 hours on yesterday, but hopefully I got some time to work on cars. And
Boo-hoo.
What do you mean boo-hoo?
Boo-hoo, all that overtime.
Well, it cost.
Cha-ching!
It is what it is. You need overtime to pay for the parts to build these cars, but if you work overtime to build the parts to build these cars, you don't have time to work on the cars. It's like a catch-22. So that's it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. All the old cars are still here. Nothing's been sold. They're not out in the yard. They're all here just covered up in the pole barn. Maybe I'll cover you up in the pole barn. Old things go in the pole barn.
That's right.
That's terrible. Don't say that. Okay, bye.